Takes Radio Company presents this informational video. The Jesus Entrepreneur Experience continues, and it's also a part of Where Are All the Young Men Going? That's the question, and now the story. Once again, thank you for the opportunity to tell you more of the story of the Jesus Entrepreneur Experience and the Christian Entrepreneur Network. One of my favorite broadcasting heroes, and I've got a number of them. Many of you may have heard of Earl Nightingale. Learned a great deal from him. Almost all of you have heard of Rush Limbaugh. I can't say that he was quite a hero, but he really knew how to use the radio and how to make it a major source of influence. Fulton Sheen, the incredible Archbishop of New York, who in effect dominated much of television in the 50s and 60s, even though he was competing as a priest, talking on religion, and he made his mark because he was incredibly good at it. Of course, another one was Paul Harvey. And of course, he was known for his combination of news and commentary and storytelling in a remarkable, wonderful way. There are others, but that'll do for now. But part of the lesson is that when you are trying to find a place and a skill that might work for you, you look for those who know what they're doing, who made their mark. And in effect, you find that there are ways that you can become imitators in many ways of the best. And of course, that's part of the story behind the Christian Entrepreneur Network, which is not just about a network of Christians coming together to perhaps help each other in life and business, but it's more than that. It's about actually understanding that the model, the master, the way to learn entrepreneurship, even if perhaps you're not even a follower, is to look at the life-teaching principles and practices of a true master entrepreneur. And so you not only learn about life and business, but you learn about the life of Jesus and how that can actually be your model for success in the marketplace. By just simply understanding that he understood human nature. He understood the power of a call. He understood communication. And with God-inspired, Father-filled power, he made a difference. As I often say, he worked at it for 3 years and created a company that has lasted over 2,000 years with millions and billions of people who've been impacted by it. Pretty good work. And we can certainly learn something, not only from him as Lord and Savior, but as I say, learn how to be a Jesus broadcaster. But when it comes to the Christian Entrepreneur Network, or the Jesus Entrepreneur Experience, to use Paul Harvey's rest of the story, I want to just briefly introduce you to something that came to me. Particularly as I understood that Charlie Kirk had a huge following of young men who wanted to be more than just guys who drank too much, chased girls, and kind of lived a life of nothingness. There was a huge following of young men who wanted to make a difference. Then, there were other people, Jordan Peterson, who had a large following of, again, men and young men who wanted to make a difference. Jordan has been suffering from a major illness and has been out of a commission, you might say, in terms of his conferences and teaching. And of course, we all know the story of Charlie Kirk and the evil that took him out. I don't presume to be any of those men in terms of influence or power, but I would certainly like to help raise someone younger than me by far who might be. And so what has emerged is I've given to the Jesus Entrepreneur Experience and the Christian Entrepreneur Network a sub-calling. I think it's to find out, where are all the young men going? Where are they going? And those who are going to good things, let's find ways to help them be good men, be good husbands, be good fathers, be very traditional in their standards. They are very much imitators of people like Charlie Kirk, who obviously is controversial because, by the way, whenever you achieve something, and if you achieve something for good and power, there are going to be a lot of people who don't like you. And oftentimes that is very human and very political, and it's oftentimes just kind of very spiritual and maybe even demonic. But you will have enemies. And obviously he did. Did you notice, and I'm sure many of you did, that before his tragic assassination, that there were pictures of him, of course, and there were pictures of his charming wife. But you know that whenever they were carrying their children, their faces were never shown in the pictures, because he also lived with the realization that there were people who would probably want to hurt his family. And there probably were, and maybe still are, of course. So what I have decided is to, at least as I can, to say, can the program of how to be a Jesus entrepreneur, can it kind of have a special sense of helping young men and younger men of high aspirations who, where are they going? And how can we help them go to good and great and maybe godly places and spaces? How can we make them powerful? How can we make them poised? How can we make them confident? How can we make them a force of nature? How can we make them people who make a difference, who are examples to others in the power of their life and the expression of their faith? So that is part of what it's all about. I just need people to know that I'm hoping that it will become that. And so even though the entire experience is open to men and women, there will be perhaps an emphasis that kind of is more attractive to men, particularly younger men, who want to make a difference in the world. And there may be an invitation where we just simply say, it's for young men. It's for men. Maybe. But I also know that since I was the coach to many young women entrepreneurs and helped them become very successful, I also know that the challenges that women entrepreneurs face can be very different and very unique from those of men. And so we will, for sure, in the Christian Entrepreneur Network, the Jesus Entrepreneur Experience, we will have sessions that will be just for women, because it will deal specifically with all of the issues that go into living an entrepreneurial life, building a business in a busy and, sometimes bad marketplace that you have to survive in. How we can give special grace and goodness and counsel to women. And it will be just for them. Let's see if we can make that happen too. But I wanted to, in this short talk, just simply make it clear that we hope that the Christian Entrepreneur Network will be successful this year, and that the Jesus Entrepreneur Experience will not only touch lives, it will move lives, it will save lives, and that we will make a difference in the world. We need your help. we need your support. Eventually, it will not be fully what it is now. We have been very clear with the Internal Revenue Service that we are a teaching and support ministry. No, we are a business, a teaching and support business that will be a support and teaching network for Christians who are entrepreneurs. And, however, we do have a component part of it, which is designed that because it does have charitable intent, that your contribution is fully 501c3 deductible. But even if it weren't, and also what we will find out is that many of the things we do, we will not give them away free, because a workman is worthy of his hire. And we're not trying to just help people who are needy. We're trying to help people who perhaps have the resources and the ability to compensate us for our work and to make a contribution for others who cannot. We want both business and charity and ministry to be combined in one expression called the Christian Entrepreneur Network. And to be very specific, it's about the Jesus Entrepreneur Experience. So you'll see the logo of the Jesus Entrepreneur Experience. You'll see the logo of the Christian Entrepreneur Network. But you will also see this one. Where are all the young men going? Because fundamental to who we are is the desire to help, us old guys, help younger men and women, and younger men and women, and many times just young men, to become all they can be, to be fully alive, to flourish. And flourishing has been described as to be fully what you were meant to be. Would you like that? To be fully what you were meant to be? That's our goal. And by God's grace and your help and some resources that come our way, maybe in some small way, we may not change the world for sure, but we can certainly change small parts of it from place to place and time to time. And I hope you'll join me and join us as we seek to make this happen in 26. Let's pick up the sticks and make it happen in 26. Thank you for your time. Best and blessings to you. I hope to hear from you. I hope to be in touch with you. And I hope to work with you if that's what is in your place, God's positioning in your life, and in the way the marketplace works for us in every way. Bye for now.